The most highly requested video that I got for the new Shane Dawson conspiracy theory video was about the theory surrounding cartoons and depression. But yeah, anyways, let's talk about this specific conspiracy theory that Shane Dawson was talking about. So basically, for those of you who didn't watch Shane Dawson's video, which I doubt happened if you're here at my video, one of the conspiracy theories was around violence and suicidal tendencies in cartoons and how it influences us. And it went on and on and on. So not only was he showing things from like SpongeBob and older cartoons and all of that, but, you know, then he kind of went into some different things about big pharma and antidepressants and all that. So like, I was sitting there, I was like, no, this ain't right. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna use some psychology to debunk this thing. So I started doing some research and it's actually kind of scary. So the first thing that we're gonna do is I'm gonna introduce you to this dude, and his name is Albert Bandura, okay? So this guy is a social psychologist, and he is most famously known for social cognitive theory, all right? More specifically, he's famous for the Bobo doll experiment. So what is this experiment? So what they did was they had two groups of kids, all right? And they had these kids watch a woman play with this thing called a Bobo doll. What the heck is a Bobo doll? It's basically like one of those old school clowns, like this like inflatable and has sand at the bottom, and you like hit it and it goes womp, 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 right? So with one of the groups of kids, the kids watched this woman play with the Bobo doll, and she was like nice with it and playing with it and all that. But with the other group of kids, like they had this lady straight up attacking this Bobo doll, right? Hitting it, like pinning it on the ground and like punching it in the face and like throwing it up and kicking it and doing all this stuff. And then what they did was they put these kids in a room with the Bobo doll, all right? And they wanted to see how the kids interacted with the Bobo doll. So with that first group of kids, like they were pretty chill. They were cool with the Bobo doll, they played with it, you know, it was all nice and friendly or whatever. But the kids who watched the woman attacking the Bobo doll, they went in there and they were jacking this doll up. And not only that, but it got a little crazier because inside this room, they put like toy weapons, all right? So some of the kids, like they would start out like just like hitting the Bobo doll and kicking it and throwing it and, you know, getting kind of violent with it. But like kids naturally went towards like weapons. Like there was other like toys in the room, but they went towards weapons, like guns and knives. Like they wanted to mess this Bobo doll up, all right? So social cognitive theory is basically talking about a learning theory, okay? So kids who witnessed this type of behavior, they were more likely, almost 100% likely, to go and recreate that type of violent behavior. That's some scary stuff. So this was more about just like what kids are seeing, what kids are learning. So by the way, parents out there, quit being, you know, crazy and abusive in your household because your kids are learning from that. But I wanted to see, I'm like, okay, well, there's no way that, you know, cartoons are influencing kids. But I actually pulled up this study that was referenced in a Psychology Today article, and it's actually true. They've done these studies with children watching violent cartoons, and the kids who watched cartoons that had violence, they were more likely to do bullying, violence, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's pretty crazy. That's kind of messed up, all right? Now, what's really fascinating about this is I grew up with video games, and I really hate the narrative that like video games are making people violent and you know, all this other stuff. But what's interesting is there's a lot of studies that have disproven the argument that video games make kids violent. So I'm not really sure why that is. Maybe it's because you're taking on the role of that character. But anyways, like, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and maybe we'll do another video on that. But why do you think that kids watching cartoons, they're more likely to be violent than kids who are playing video games that have violence in those video games? You know what I mean? Like, I find that pretty interesting. So